Welcome back to On The Bounce, guys. It's a super exciting week of UFC. It's UFC 312. It is Sean Strickland versus Dricus. Myself and Ben are going to watch it at Benchwarmers. Please do join us at Benchwarmers.
Sunday morning.
And you've heard me ask it a million times. The card starts at 5, but we think the Dricus fight will be at 7 a.m. That is the last time. I promise you I'll ask you that question.
So I'm pulling in at Benchwarmers to come and join you for this. I'm going to get there around 6-ish.
Yeah.
Because rule of thumb, Cam, back me up here. Rule of thumb is if it says main card starts at 5, especially when there's a co-main event, also a potential of 5 rounds, although Suarez won't last that long. 2 hours.
Do you know what's so funny about people asking about it? Yeah. You can Google UFC, right? And then under the fight card, it gives you a fight card. It says main card starts at 5, right? So everyone asks me, what time is he fighting? Every single time. So so the people I like, rule of thumb is like, no, he's fighting 2 hours after that starting time. 7 o'clock, waxed.
You heard it
People
here.
I don't like, no, just wake up at 3:30 just to make sure.
Just to get the preamble in. Because sometimes
Sometimes they, like UFC makes mistakes. No, they don't.
Guys, that's cruel because the first Dricus fight, I know thousands of people that woke up at 3 a.m. And I woke up at like 7:30. I'm like, okay, cool, Dricus is about to walk out. And they were like, guys, what's happening here?
It was quite rough for the first timers because, Cam, like you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Dricus was EFC champion. People didn't like the sport.
Yeah.
Suddenly he started winning in UFC. People started caring about the sport.
Yeah.
Then he becomes like title fight. Everyone was like, yeah, UFC is the best thing ever. I've known Dricus since back in the day, Carnival City.
Yeah.
But the card that he became champion on was so shit. I remember Dana White saying, Canada, I owe you a rerun because that card was the most boring.
Yeah.
And everyone sat through 2 hours of this going, why is everyone like this?
Yeah.
Why is everyone like this?
Yeah, why is... But again, and then why is the sport... Because everyone that watches the sport is like, okay, no, this is boring. Okay, they're lying on top of each other. And then you get to that main event, and then it's just these two guys that don't want to go away, don't want to take a step back, and they're absolutely just trying to hit each other's heads off.
Yeah.
Him being on boring cards, I like it because he gets to showcase what fighting really is, and I think that just puts more spotlights on his performances.
I guess. How the guys make money when they become champions, Cam, again, like just cutting when I'm trying to go overreaching on my MMA knowledge. But you get pay-per-view points. So the more people watching pay-per-view, the more, as a champion, you get points of it. Okay. Now, you look at this card on Saturday, you look through it again, there's 4 ranked fighters on the whole main card, of which they are the co and the main event.
Yeah.
2 of which are women's fighters. Shoot me if you want,
we're not going to get
they're
into
not
that
the most exciting fights,
bro.
guys. Weili Zhang is going to run through this Warriors chick because the skill set, the athleticism, the experience, she's a proper champion. She's my favorite women's fighter. I love watching her.
Yeah.
So, Cam, let's not gloss around this card's good or bad, whatever it is. It's in Sydney. I've done some basic analysis here on my slides that you could then add on to. So just looking at these two straight up, obviously we've got Dricus. Obviously we know what he's like. He's 31. His UFC record is 8-0. Yeah. So he's had 8 fights, 0 losses. His height, slightly taller than Marv, 183 meters. His reach is 193. So Cam, how do they measure reach? Is it like you extend your arms out?
So it's
middle,
like
your
middle
wingspan.
finger to middle finger, wingspan, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your reach.
So Dricus's reach is more than his height.
Yeah. Long arms.
Very long.
Yeah.
Do you mind just going back onto that slide there so we can just go through it? Now, what does it mean when the guy's a switch stance? He's like, he goes southpaw, he goes whatever, orthodox.
I was actually laughing when I saw switch stance there because not a lot of people would actually put that in, which is that's very advanced of you.
Shut up, Ben.
Thanks, guys.
I think you gained a lot of respect in our community.
Yo,
right?
shut
So
out.
Cam,
Ben has been waiting for this moment.
this is why I wore a
This
suit,
guy's
guys.
life.
This is why I wore a suit.
No, because everyone will always use the stance you started out with. To be honest, like if you write with your right hand, then you're orthodox. Like if you write with your left hand, I'm left-handed, then you're a southpaw. Like the way Dricus he fights from different stances. He's stepping over. He's throwing bombs. He's doing it. So switch stance is very accurate. So
Well,
It
I think
helps.
the reason I wanted to bring it up is because I think Sean Strickland can talk as much as he wants, but he's a certain ceiling to his certain abilities.
Yeah.
We know what he is. It's like Bulls rugby back in the day. Forward orientated, you're going to run straight and run over Oaks.
Yeah.
But Sean Strickland isn't the Bulls. He's not good enough. Wanda, if you get back on the slides there, you just carry on with that. Now we got Sean Strickland over here, 2 years older, UFC record of 16-6. Now those 6 been scattered around, didn't start so great. He started as a welterweight, right?
Yeah.
And then he had a car accident, a motorbike accident, whatever, and he realized that he needs to go up a little bit. Now his reach is exactly the same as Dricus. His stance is orthodox, so you know what you're getting with him.
Yeah.
And, you know, he is the betting underdog. If you guys, that would have been funny if Israel Adesanya was on this one.
Yeah. Underdog.
So he will be the underdog going into this fight. Now, let's take our slides a little bit further here, Wendy. We can get more into the sort of meat of this. Dricus's last 5 fights, Cam, how would you sort of describe that? I mean, were there sort of trends, or was it just like us understanding the evolution of Dricus and his skills?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, and I briefly mentioned it in the start of the show, like how after fighting Dricus, how many of those guys are broken?
Oh, very good point. Darren Till, gone. I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to be a boxer.
Yeah.
Derek Brunson, gone. Robert Whittaker,
Broken mouth.
especially after the comes up fight, he's kind of gone.
And that's also like Robert Whittaker, amazing athletes. After that, didn't have the best performance.
No.
Dricus knows how to break people.
It's kind of like when the Proteas were the absolute best. They used to retire English cricket captains.
Yeah.
Michael Vaughan, shout out.
Yeah, Michael Vaughan, take that again, 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, so there's Dricus' last 5 fights, pretty dominant. As you can see there's only one decision. Okay, the reason I want to bring that up is because Dricus does fight Oaks and he finishes them.
Yeah.
Whereas Strickland, on the other hand, if we look at the next slide there, out of his last 5 fights, there is 4 decisions.
Yeah.
He beats Sandeli. You want to go with the name there on this TKO?
Abus doesn't even count. Like he wasn't even in the top 15, I think.
Yeah, so
Magomedov.
Yeah.
Medov.
So-
Magomedov.
So his last, Abu Sabia and Magomedov, he was outside top 15. Cam, a little bit of question Q&A here. Previously to that one, when did Strickland last have a TKO and who was it against? We got his last 5
I
fights
almost
here.
said something I wasn't supposed to, but
His previous TKO before the Abu Sayan fight,
that's a great question.
2020.
Oh, what year?
Yeah,
2020.
Brendan Allen.
Yeah.
That was the last time.
Take that, Brendan Allen.
That was the last time he had a TKO.
So, yeah.
So the point is here is like he's going to decision a lot of the time. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as he's like bemoaning the fact that he didn't beat Dricus or went to a decision,
Yeah.
he was dominant against Adesanya, but he still couldn't finish him in 5 rounds. Same with Paulo Costa. He's meant to be the better fighter. Took him 5 rounds, split decision.
And if you look at his record, you know, how many of those decisions were split
Splits.
decisions? Because I think that's also a massive point, something that Dricus also brought up in the week. And it's very true because that's why I think Arab Nixick, his coach, is no slouch. Like he understands martial arts. He understands the strategy of how judges score fights.
Yeah, super smart guy.
Super smart guy. But he also knows Sean. He knows his personality. The way you are as a person is the way you do everything. It's the way you're going to fight. So Sean likes like really pulling that fight apart, making it lengthy, making it scrappy, making it tough. And he is tough. He is durable. He can take a punch. But he likes also just winning with 1 or 2 points. That's not how Dricus fights. Dricus wants to get you out of there. He wants to try and rip your head off. And I do think there's gonna come a point in this fight where Sean is gonna realize I'm falling behind. I need to break character. I need to break the chain of who I am and how I fight and how I do things. That's when he's going to get catched.
For cricket fans, it's a bit like the run rate's 14 and over, and you're happy with the odd boundary and to rotate the strike.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it is with Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
Well, if you get those slides back up on our interactive tail of the tape here, where does Dricus win the fight? Well, I think it's pretty clear. He can win it on his feet, he can win it on the ground, and he can also just beat him in the press conference. This is something I want to ask him one day, if I ever get to chat to him. Is there a game plan? Can you tell us? Sorry, want you just keep it on the other slide, please? Is there a game plan that Dricus takes in? Because this Oak is a champion on every single stage. He's made 2 Oaks cry in the last 2 press conferences. This is no accident.
Yeah.
How much does he research this? Is he...
He's obsessed. In every facet of the sport, he's obsessed. Like, there's not once that you go to his house and on TV, there's not a YouTube video open about either interview the guy did back in 2013 or a friend's mother's cousin that took a video footage of asking 3 or 4 questions. He knows his opponent very, very well. Do I think he plans the responses? No. I think that almost comes naturally in the moment, but it's based off of hours and hours of footage that he studies. The moment he gets in there and he's standing across the cage, he sees that guy. He's like, I know exactly who you are. I know exactly what to do to break you. It comes back to his love and obsession for the sport.
It's crazy because he's second language. Like when I first met you, Oaks, he wasn't Englishing well.
No,
Genuinely.
No, he was.
So Oak had cornrows, and every third word was like, not too sure.
Yeah. And
their cornrows would kill it off.
No, they were pretty good. He should have gone back for the Adesanya fight.
It made him fast. So, no, it's and even before that, I think he at some stage, if I remember correctly, he didn't want to do interviews in English. Like they would ask in English, he'll reply in Afrikaans. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that, Oak. I rocked up. It was with one of his sponsors,
Yeah.
so he had to humor me. But I was doing English interview, and I remember the first day at the yard with Scotty.
Yeah.
Like that's how I met him. I met him with a camera in hand, asking him questions, and he was like,
you're killing me, bro.
you can go and find that video to see him trading, becoming a champion thing. That first interview I did with him.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
But becoming a champion, exactly. It's he in every aspect of the game. He steps up to the plate. His preparation has been amazing for this camp. I think he's so used to, firstly, just looking at his record. I don't think people realize how many southpaws he has fought. And preparing for. I think we last calculated out of the 20 fights, about 14 or 15 of them were southpaws. It's unheard of. But you get to train with a massive load of talent, all orthodox, mainly orthodox guys in the gym. So Strickland fighting that weird boxing stance, fighting that weird Philly shell, but being orthodox makes it a lot easier. A lot easier because now there's certain patterns he's going to recognize almost instantly, and with that killer instinct he's going to come forward and he's going to make it really tough for Sean.
So just pull that slide back up there, Wendy, of Sean Strickland and how he could possibly win this fight. And it's quite clear, we kind of touched on it, maybe with the judges.
Maybe.
100%. Yeah, and that's
Solid
again
analysis.
with his personality, his coaching staff. I think, and you can also see that in the interviews, how not only Sean speaks, but the people around him that was in his camp, they are prepared to go 5 rounds. And I don't think they see winning the title anywhere else.
Which is, again, everyone's got their strengths, but basically you're saying, I've got plan A,
Yeah.
and I've got plan A.
Yeah.
It's like watching Springbok rugby 15 years ago.
But I think it's kind of like what is being fed to him is work towards the decision, but you're going to catch him somewhere. If that doesn't happen in round 3, then emotionally you're like, I'm not sure if this is going to happen. If this doesn't happen in round 4, then it's like, okay, shit, now I'm in trouble. And that's why I think round 3 or 4, I think something is going to happen. Either Sean is going to shoot, he's going to do something out of character, Dricus is going to capitalize.
Just be waiting because he's got all those skills.
He's going to capitalize on that.
Now, obviously, in Fight Week, there's lots of quotes that go around. People are going to say things. Strickland's going to say a lot of stuff. It's going to be incoherent. One, if you just bring up some of those quote screens there, please. Now, Strickland, he will... This isn't ChatGPT. Sandila didn't type this in. This is actually what he said. It's going to be a fucking war. He wants it. I want it. But I think I'm going to piece him apart. That's a...
Yeah.
I was trying to find quotes that I could put onto one screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could have written this as a placeholder. I knew he was going to say this.
100%.
But just how he ends it. But I think I'm going to piece him apart. That's not a champion's talk.
I like how you separated like the thin text from the thick text. Because, like, I think the thin text is Dricus. The war is Dricus. He's going to come forward and he's going to try and knock your head off. and then Sean is gonna try and pick him apart, you know. So I think he's not lying, but that's very contradictory. And he hasn't said that only once. Like picking him apart, teaching him a lesson, outpointing him, taking him to school. It's a guy that wants to go to decision.
It's like these discrepancies are going, we're going to fight to the death, we're men, we're going to do all these kind of things, but I'm going to jab you. It's like, I'm going to absolutely murder the steak when I get home later. Side salad Greek, please. It's like, it just doesn't quite go. With Dricus, there's a lot of quotes around him this week. I mean, Dricus does give a good interview. This is a bit of an amalgamation here that I picked up. I didn't get lucky. I wasn't gifted a belt because people, and Strickland's entire narrative is that the judges did him dirty.
Yeah.
And Dricus pointed out that, for 23 minutes of that 25-minute fight, he was going forward the whole time. Yeah. And that will always warrant a win. People go on the fact like, oh, but there was more damage and stuff. Dricus got the damage because he was trying to actually make a fight out of it.
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson, John Anik, these guys know fighting back to front. They all said, yes, it was tight. Yeah. Dricus was the winner.
It's super interesting because judges also score very different, or the scoring system stays the same, but the way they score is very different. So we've heard of judges seeing a scenario, so the guys go in, there's an exchange, and then they almost award a stripe to the person that they think won that exchange, right? So it's like stripe, and then they'll count up the stripes, and then it's a 10-9 for whoever had the most stripes. So that's the one way. How other judges score it is watching the whole fight. So watching the round, watching where the exchanges are being done, significant strikes, because the judges don't have access to significant strikes. They only get to see what's going on there. So that's why cage control, massively, it's a massive part of our sport. You have to have cage control. You look more dominant. You're going forward. You're putting your opponent on the back foot. And the way Dricus fights, he lands more on his front foot. So that's definitely a way. And also just the disparity in shots. With the last fight, Sean Strickland had majority of his shots to the head. Now Dricus goes forward, he has cage control, but he's showing I can strike him in the head, I can kick him in the body, I can kick his legs, I can take him down. I'm giving a bigger menu to my judges. Like, look at where I can beat him.
Oh yeah, sure.
And if you look at it like that, then it's when I went to the decision, I told my girlfriend, like, he's world champion. It's not even close. It wasn't close.
And that wasn't a headbutt as well.
No. As he keeps on trying to refer
He keeps trying to go for that. Okay, so let's wrap up UFC 312 with the big question. If you're putting money down, what's your prediction?
If I'm putting money on it, Dricus by finish. If I have to be very specific, I'm gonna go fourth round submission after Strickland shot for a takedown, not Dricus.
Oh, interesting. This is like playing UFC Cluedo. That's great. I'm more boisterous around this. Bullish, sorry, different word.
Boisterous. Come on,
I reckon Strickland. All those things you said, but 10 minutes earlier. I think he's going to realize because Dricus is going to sting him. Dricus is going to be laughing at him. He's going to be ticking him off, and I think Sean will push the pace. And I reckon second round submission for Dricus.
I like that.
I really do. I feel like it is because Dricus also knows like you're not really going to hurt me. He's never going to be like lackadaisical about it, but I think he can push the pace early, which he will. Sandila, what do you reckon?
Oh, definitely a knockout. I'm going out of the knockout, and we're not going 5 rounds. I think this narrative that Sean Strickland is somebody who's going to take it the full length of a fight, I think it comes to an end of this one. I think he goes for a knockout in 4. I'm going to stick with 4. Cool.
Yeah, Marv. I mean, I think we can wrap up UFC right there. What's your prediction?
I mean, Dricus is gonna win for sure. But I want to see who gets choked out in here.
Right, we'll get to that.
Okay.
That's what I care about.
We've also got Michaela in the studio now. It's all happening. This is a great audience.
Yeah.
Now the funny thing, if you do watch the show and you follow us on social media, Michaela's from the South, but she doesn't like fighting.
Which is wild.
So the question is she really from the South?
Doubt it. She from Ethel like me and Santon.
Guys, I mean, look, I've got to be honest with you. I'm so into UFC 312. Cam, it's been so great having you in the studio talking MMA. I can't do any other sport justice right now. Okay. Gareth Cliff Show on Friday. If you want a full sporting preview, I'm going to go all guns blazing. We got obviously the PSL, we got the FA Cup, we've got a lone rugby championship, United Rugby Championship match, we've got the Six Nations, we've got the Wasted Management golf tournament. Let's recap all that. Gareth Cliff Show on Friday. Sandila, I think we should wrap it up.
Oh yeah, I've got.
You've got a couple of questions you want to ask our esteemed guest here.
Yeah, so first of all, Cam, shout out for being with us longer than usual. Great guest. So this is my fire round. I'm trying something new. You got 5 seconds to answer these questions. I'm just gonna fire away. Knockout or submission?
Knockout.
Who hits harder?
Sorry,
Aboor?
Hang on a second.
Wait, I've got the
knockout of submission, obviously giving here. So
Yeah, I'm dishing it out.
Dishing
right?
it out.
Yeah, 100%. Well,
submission or knockout?
knockout by
Okay,
far,
cool.
every single time.
Who hits harder, Dricus or Aboor? Because I had to change the question now.
Dricus. by
Okay,
far.
cool. One fighter you'd love to have a beer with?
George St. Pierre, but I don't think he drinks.
not anymore.
You can have non-alcoholic.
Heineken Zeros.
Your celebrity crush. Now, come on. This is the real question.
My?
Celebrity crush.
Carly van Jasveld.
Ben, do you want to play with me? Do you want to?
Sorry, that was my answer.
Yeah.
Carry on.
A celebrity crush.
So,
Shits.
don't get into trouble also, please.
Yes.
His girlfriend's
That's a
kind of a
hard one.
celebrity like, already, so I
Yeah.
mean, you can always just,
Rosie
like,
Jagger.
there we
Okay,
go.
shout out.
Little fail-safe answer there.
Yeah.
You're stuck on an island with one UFC fighter. Who would it be?
100% Dricus, because we're surviving that shit. We're making it a party. We're having coconuts. We're having a good time.
And this one is for the homies. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No, never. And I remind my girlfriend of that every single time. It's. I think an Italian dies every single time you do it.
Your go-to karaoke song. I said me, myself, and I. I'm curious which one is yours.
What's that song?
Ooh.
Or Pop Spinner
Go. No. Go to karaoke song. Yes, I'm gonna get butchered in the comments. I don't know.
Come on, man. One.
I'm trying. Yes, I'm drawing a blank. Like bad.
Okay, I can circle back. We'll circle
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
that. Who would you rather be trained by? Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid or Mickey from Rocky?
Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, shout out. The
Yeah.
wax on, wax off. And then
That's a
this
great
one,
question.
and this one is probably very close to home because I know the cameras have zoomed in on you. Permanent cauliflower ear or nose that's crooked for life?
Cauliflowers. These are like my stars and stripes. They are
I'd
not
also rather
getting.
have cauliflower than a quacker.
Yeah, that's it's so funny when people make eye contact with you and then they look at your ears and they look back at you.
They're like-
and they always reference something about your ears. And
Yeah.
I was like, what's wrong with my ears? Like, there's nothing wrong. And then their faces drop. They want to die. I'm like, no, it's just
And
a
also,
joke.
like rule of thumb, don't pick a fight with Oak's like good ears like that.
Yeah.
Because trust me, he knows how to fight.
I'm way too small to be a prop or a hooker so
Yeah, and that is me and my lightning round. I will be doing this again every week and every episode. Ben, back to you and let's close it off.
Look, we've got to finish off with the poll for this week. As you know, on X, TRN on the bounce. So hard for me to say that. TRN on the bounce. Every single week we have a new poll. This week the poll is going to be a football one.
I feel
What do you got
attacked.
there for us? Which team is finishing highest on the Premier League log? Is it going to be Man United? Is it going to be Spurs? Is it going to be West Ham? Is it going to be Everton? Those are your options this week. Sandili, who's it going to be?
It's going to be Man United, and fuck you for asking this question.
All right, Cam, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to tag you, obviously, on our posts on social media. But Moord and Boord, we're going to look out for that. Ever evolving versus promotions. Well done on what you're doing there, because I think you make the point is that we all know about UFC. People want to get involved. Mixed martial arts is fantastic. It's really healthy. It's not violent, unless maybe you're at the Greek Methodist Church in Primrose.
That was hilarious.
But it's a really good thing for kids to get into because you're learning discipline and you're exercising and you can defend yourself and do these really great things. Cam, it's been wonderful having you in the studio. Thanks
Thank you so much. It's been awesome. I can't wait to choke you guys out now
That's crazy.
afterwards. I didn't forget about that. Your check is gonna bounce. And then thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everyone for the support. We really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. We are sometimes terrible with replying to messages and comments and stuff like that, but we see a lot of it. So thanks for the love. Appreciate it.
If you do want to see Sandile get choked out, follow us on Instagram.
Guys, I'm not sure if I'm signing up for all this craziness.
Follow us on TikTok.
Ben,
Sandile, we're
Why
using this to
Ben
punch
the-
social media here. Just go with it.
I'm going to go with it. All right, fuck it. You'll catch the video just now.
I'll see it as a win if a vein pops.
No, what? That is us. That is episode 33 or 34 of On The Bounce. Cheers, guys.
The On The Bounce Show. Catch full episodes every Thursday from 4 p.m.